everyone. Welcome back to Viva Las Vegas Part 3.
Woo! Yeah, we're back to finish Part 3 of our Las Vegas excursion.
Yes, we had so many fun times, right?
Yeah.
That it's going to take us a while to get them all to you.
Yeah, so we're thinking we may end up with a Part 4, but just stick in there with us.
Yes.
We have a lot to share.
We do.
So,
and gosh, that was day 3 too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we walked to the Starbucks at the Cosmopolitan since we were staying in the Cosmopolitan Hotel. But Cynthia said, I wonder if the Starbucks in the Vidara is closer. Mm-hmm. So we gave it a try, and it actually was.
Oh, my gosh, it was so much closer. But you got to learn.
Because the connection.
Yeah, and you've got to really learn the ins and outs of these Las Vegas hotels because there's so many escalators and doors on the second floor and doors on the first floor.
Yes.
And now we have connections with the Bellagio, Vidara, and then, of course, outside is the Aria. But, so we literally learned kind of where the first escalator went from where our tower was in the Cosmo.
Yeah.
You could literally just go up the escalator, go across. And actually, didn't we even find out, I think it was on our very last day, we found out if we took the elevator from our hotel room to the second floor, we were right there at the walkway. Yeah, you
come right out at the walkway to where you can head to the Vidara.
To the Vidara.
Yeah. So we learned as we went, but now we know for next time.
Yeah, I was going to say, that just means we have to go again.
Yeah, we will. Because there was things that we saw that we didn't get to do, and we'll even throw them at you guys in case you guys want to go test them out before we do.
Yes, because there are lots of stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot. We did a lot, but there was still a lot of things that we did not get to.
Yes, that's for sure.
But the cool thing is that we didn't have reservations at Salt and Ivy, which is in the Aria Hotel. Okay, and like she said, the Aria Hotel is very close to Cosmo. It's kind of behind it.
Yeah.
And so we kind of had a leisurely morning, so we sipped our mochas on the balcony for a little bit before we even got ready. And then we headed down to Salt and Ivy. We had an outdoor patio seat, and it was such a beautiful day. We were overlooking the pool. Mm-hmm. There was pigeons landing everywhere.
Which I don't like that part. But
it was cute to see the creatures. We're just not sure we love the pigeons.
Sparrows or finches or doves. But those pigeons.
Yeah, the pigeons were a little bit menacing.
Yeah, I don't like pigeons. They're kind of like flying rats.
Yeah, pretty much. So we had a great seat and a really sweet server, and we always like to order things that we can share. So like we said, a little sweet and a little savory, and so her and I both agreed on the breakfast sandwich, which was super delicious.
Super good, yeah.
Yeah, and you got a little side salad.
Yes, I did, right? I did get a side salad.
And that's when I got the blueberry loaf, because it just looked so good.
Yeah.
So anyways, we were going to share that, but then you ended up getting too full and... So anyways, but we just sat outside and just enjoyed the sunshine and the mango ice.
I was just going to say, and sipped on that mango iced tea.
It was so
I think that was the best part. I mean, I loved the breakfast, don't get me wrong, and I loved the ambience of outside. You're literally they have an outdoor bar. So everybody's, there's a big bar there, and then they have all this outdoor seating, and then the pool is right over here. So, that's the Aria pool. Anyway, so, that mango iced tea, and I don't know if it was the surroundings.
I know!
Or because of the sunshine.
I know!
Or what, but man, that tasted like the best tea I've ever had in my life. It was
like sunshine in a glass.
Yeah.
It was just
That's a very good analogy.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just like so refreshing and so fruity.
I know, I think I sucked down like 4 of them or
something. And then our server was so sweet because he's like, do you want a refill? And we're like, well, we're going to take off soon. We, wanted to pay the check and go. And he's like, well, I'll get you girls a to-go cup full of it. And it was that crushed ice.
That squishy ice you can chew on. Yeah. I know, to go.
To go. He was so sweet.
He was the best.
Do you remember? We slipped him a Girl Talking Shenanigans business card.
I said, we should live our business card everywhere we go.
We kind of bonded with him, so we were like, we left him a little surprise. If he wants any more of us, he could just watch the podcast.
You never know how many new viewers we might get from Las Vegas.
Exactly. You don't. We try to pass them out everywhere we go.
We try.
But anyhow.
And then after that, what did we do?
We walked over to Jason Aldean's.
That's right.
Because
that's right.
the first night that we had gone with Darren, we didn't get to sit on the second floor because they didn't have the full menu.
That's right. We just ate and then we left after that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had to eat on the bottom floor just to be able to get the full menu. So Cynthia and I wanted to try the second floor because, as we had mentioned on the first part one, that you could see the strip from the second floor. And so we thought, you know what? We're not in a big hurry. We've got time to kill before our evening plans with Darren. So we just decided to sit on the second floor at Jason Aldean's. And it's really cool because they do have those high top tables around the perimeter of this over balcony, you know, lookout.
Like their balcony,
but they have these really cool red couches with like
they're like the leather
those?
touch.
Yes, it's got
but
the
they're
little
red and they're super cool. Looking.
Yeah, it's really like very loungy feeling in their leather. So, anyways, we just hung out outside, and actually, it was a really hot day.
Well, and that was the thing. We really wanted to sit on the high tops.
Yeah,
because we wanted to watch. We love doing the people watching thing, right? But it was so warm that to sit on the high tops, you were directly. That sun was beating on you.
Yeah.
So we ended up in the shade over on a red leather sofa,
on the couch,
which was super comfy.
Yeah, it was very relaxing.
And
and you can hear the music playing from the bottom floor. And we took a ton of pictures of all the stuff we're talking about. So if you jump on our Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, you can see these pictures. So we'll share some of these pictures we're talking about.
Yeah, because that way you can get the visual.
Yeah.
Of, of what we're talking about. We try to tell you as much as we can.
Yeah.
But
we want you guys to feel like you were there with us too.
Exactly.
And so we try to post them, and we'll drop the pictures before we launch the video, so you can have those ready to go when you're watching the video. You can check those out.
And that's Jason Aldean's was a really cool place, especially from the Cosmo, because like we had mentioned before, you literally just walk across a walkway from the Cosmopolitan, and you're in it. You're right there. So. That was really cool.
I loved that. And they built so many walkways, too, that you don't have to even cross the street anymore, which just feels so much safer.
It's it is. You just have to know where they're at.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They need to have, maybe they have detailed maps nowadays. I don't know. I never, looked it up online or anything.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
If they showed, what section you're in and all the walkways from the hotels that go this way or that way. I bet they probably do. I just have never really,
Me neither.
Looked into that.
Me neither.
But
the funny thing, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The funny thing is that Cynthia had told me when she had gone to Vegas with John in October that there was a Ross really close to Jason Aldean's.
But it's in the most obscure place because literally you are talking about Jason Aldean's 2-story place, okay, right here. Yeah. Above that is a very swanky seafood restaurant. I think it's called Prime Seafood.
Oh, okay.
I have not gone there because I don't like seafood. But, so you're talking swanky, right? You've got Cosmo here. You've got Jason Aldean. You've got Prime Seafood. And then right over here, you have that mystery illusion museum, it's called. I'm not going to go in it because I know I will get motion sickness in it. I've watched it online, and I've seen people inside, and they've taken videos, and I'm like, oh, no. Cynthia's not doing that one.
No.
Because I would be, not
that would make you
when
feel
I came out.
off-kilter.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that would be terrible.
So, okay, so here's that, right? And then all of a sudden, you have a Ross sign.
Yeah, Ross Dress for Less, if you guys aren't sure
down.
what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm like, why would there be a Ross store? I mean, that's like super discount store, right? Even more than TJ Maxx or the Rack.
Yes.
I mean, the Ross is even,
a little step down.
Yeah, another down.
Not to shade any of you Ross lovers.
No.
Because we're TJ Maxx lovers. Yeah.
But Ross was across the street. And it was over there by the Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, okay.
It was all in that little strip mall over there.
I didn't know.
So anyway, I'm like, and this is the last time I went, I was like, that is just the strangest thing. And I kept saying, are you sure that's like a Ross?
Like clothing store?
Yeah.
Not like Ross Bar?
And somebody just, cheated and used like their logo or something.
Yes.
So So anyway, and it keeps pointing down. So you go down an escalator. So anyway, so we went.
Yeah,
and,
we had to check it out.
Of course.
Plus, there might have been a good deal in Vegas.
Right.
That
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they have stuff in Vegas that they don't have at our Ross.
And they do.
Yeah.
They totally do. Because the last time I was there, I did get some tennis shoes there that I've never, seen since.
Oh, yeah.
But
they have so many shoes.
Oh my God!
Like if you guys want shoes, go to the Ross.
Go to
Vegas.
the Ross downstairs because wasn't that the biggest shoe racks of a Ross you've ever seen?
I'm a 6.5, and usually there's like one side maybe with dress shoes, and then the back side is like tennis shoes and flip flops or whatever. But like there was. I mean, at least four.
Yeah, like
four rows, front and back of 6 or 6.5. I was so shocked.
Yeah.
But I didn't find anything that I had to have.
No, me either.
But
I didn't buy anything this time either.
Yeah.
But it was fun looking.
It was fun looking, yeah, because we're like, we love shopping. Like, we're on vacation already.
And we kept finding shoes. Look, they're only this much. Oh, my gosh, And
I know, I almost got
she walked around with sparkly silver cowboy boots for a long time.
They were just crusted and
actually
sparkle.
Super cute.
And they were a little bit lower, and I thought, oh my gosh, with my jeans over it, that would just be so cute. But I already have, real cowboy boots from the Boot Barn, and I don't wear those often enough. And I try to incorporate those with sundresses, but you still don't get your money's worth out of them. And I thought, I don't know, do I need to be spending?
Yeah,
but then it's like they're like $24.99 or something.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, do I need to pack them?
That's another thing. Then you got to carry them or pack them, and we talked about how she was already on overload. So
yeah, but I did have my Southwest bag. I can shove my purchases in now.
Yeah, but that bag was hard.
That bag was heavy.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord. So anyway.
Oh gosh.
So we went back to the room and we just chilled because we had some time. So as we mentioned, my friend Darren lives in Vegas, and if you guys missed part 1 or part 2, go back and listen. But Darren had planned to pick us up at 6:00, and our plan was to go to dinner and go to Old Las Vegas, which is Fremont Street.
So Marilyn has never been to Fremont Street.
Never.
And that is an iconic thing. You got to do that. I wouldn't say it's the funnest or the best place to go.
Right.
But you got to see it once, right?
Yes.
It's just a place. People will ask you when you say, oh, you went to Vegas. They'll say, oh, did you go to Fremont Street?
Right.
You're going to say, yeah, I saw it.
Now I can. Because people said, did you go to Fremont Street? And I'm like, they might as well have said Main Avenue.
Yeah,
like, I don't even know what it was.
Right.
And the funny thing was that I had painted such a big picture in my mind when, Cynthia and Darren were talking about Chinatown. And and that was a little bit like, So I was thinking, gosh, am I all excited about Fremont Street? And then it's going to be like another disappointment. So
right, that's true. I forgot about that.
Right?
And she did not look online or anything to see what it looked like. So she really had no idea.
No, I wanted to be surprised.
Yeah. So we did. We went first to go eat, though, right? We went over to the new Circa Hotel.
That was so beautiful.
That's a very,
Everything is like so vintage over there. It's just like, it's got the stardust, stars. And
because it's the old Las Vegas.
It was so cool.
That's where it all started. It's the Nuggets over there, the Four Queens.
So that's where, like, Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra would have been hanging out.
There, and then when they started building, like, the Stardust and the Sahara, then they were there, which was on the newer strip.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So those were kind of off the strip, and now these are off the strip, because now everything is on...
Well, because everybody thinks of the new strip.
As the strip. Right. Interesting. Yeah. So we found our way into the Circa Hotel, and that was where we were thinking we were going to have the buffet.
Oh, that's right, because they had a buffet called the Californian Buffet, and I think when we were talking about where to eat at, and then it came up somehow that we love buffets, right?
And Darren said he did too.
Yeah, and so he goes, oh my God, the Circa has this great buffet called the Californian or something.
Yeah, because it was, wasn't that the one that was Hawaiian?
It looked Hawaiian themed.
Because tell me again that Las Vegas is considered like the something island.
It's
like
the ninth island.
Ninth island.
Of Hawaii, yes.
And it's got this like whole like Hawaiian vibe that I didn't really understand at first, but the whole Circa Hotel kind of is going with that like Hawaiian vintage.
Yes, and so when we were coming up the escalator, we could see it, and it had like, the fake palm trees, and we could see colors and greenery, and we were like getting so excited.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, we were starving.
Yeah, and so we get up there, and it's closed. We're like, what?
I know.
And like so many buffets ever since COVID.
Yeah.
They are not open, even at the Bellagio, on the new strip, the Bellagio, at the Cosmo. Their buffets are not even open the way they used to be open.
It's just such a bummer.
So I guess we were there on a Tuesday. Was that Tuesday night, I think? And they're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
for dinner.
I think, huh?
Yeah, for
Was
dinner.
it only dinner, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were there, at like 6:30
there at dinner.
Yeah, but they don't open.
They weren't open though. Yeah,
for dinner on those days.
We were just so like, oh man.
Yeah,
we were salivating.
Yeah,
for that
you're
buffet.
getting your belly all ready for a buffet.
We were so ready for it. So then all three of us were so bummed. We were like, dang it.
We gotta suck it up.
Now what are we gonna go eat?
Well, thank goodness Darren kind of knows his way around.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, there's a couple places
like
over
food
here.
Court places or whatever. Yeah. And we're good with that. Too,
yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
We'll eat anything, really. As long as it's food and it doesn't have garlic.
Yeah,
right?
And it's not seafood. Yeah.
Exactly. So, so we found our way over to Victory Burger.
Yes.
And we were all kind of comparing notes because we were like, do we want to share? Do we want to get our own food? And so, anyways, I wanted chicken wings because I had been craving those and I wasn't able to eat the ones at Jason Aldean's because they had a dry rub and the dry rub had garlic and onion powder. So anyways, but then I also wanted a salad because I'd been eating a lot of food that wasn't super healthy for me. So I wanted to have a salad. Anyways, if you get a salad, you're going to have salad for days. I got the power salad and we'll post pictures of those too. But the power salad was like, it was on a plate that was like this big and it had lettuce on the bottom, and then just layers of toppings like bacon and egg and blue cheese and tomato and avocado. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was like a Cobb salad because that's how Cobb salads are. But yeah, it looked delicious.
It was so good.
And what do I get? I get nachos again. I don't know why I'm like this nacho thing.
That's what Darren said. Darren said, you're like a nacho girl.
But they're so different.
Yeah,
the ones at Jason Aldean's were so different.
Yeah, they were
those
like
weren't real
potato
nachos.
chips.
Yeah, those were kettle chips with pulled pork, and these were like real nachos.
Yes,
and these had tortilla chips. And what I liked about them was not only did they have all the toppings like regular nachos, but they also had a ton of shredded lettuce on top of it. So it was almost like eating a giant tostada.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah,
it looked so that good. One too. Yeah.
I wasn't able to have any.
Did that have queso in it too?
Yeah.
Gosh, darn.
But it was okay because I had plenty of food.
You did. You had your chicken wings and that huge salad.
I recommend those chicken wings. Those were the biggest chicken wings I've ever ordered, and they were the hottest buffalo chicken wings.
Oh, that's right. I ate one, right?
Yes.
And those were so...
Man, they were so good. I love hot things.
Yes, spicy.
And then Darren got the Caesar salad with chicken.
Yes,
and then
he was supposed to help me with the nachos.
I know, but he was helping me with the buffalo wings.
Oh my God, we had again so much food left over, and this time you can't. It doesn't taste good. That like nachos and salad don't taste good.
The next day,
so Darren can take that home. But anyway. We left it that time, but that's another yummy place. Not expensive, very reasonably priced. We just got like Cokes to drink or whatever. Not like drinks. We just had like sodas and stuff. So that was delicious.
And then I was so excited to leave because we get to experience Fremont Street. And actually it's called Fremont Street The Experience. And now I understand why. I tell you what, I had no idea what I was in for, It was as if you're walking like right into the middle of a neon jungle.
Yeah.
It was crazy and exciting and exhilarating. And this, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It's called a Viva Vision, and it's basically a screen that runs over the street, a real street.
You actually almost feel like, I have not been to Fremont Street in about over 20 years.
Wow.
So the last time I went, I think it's way improved in 20 years.
Good. Because it was fun to see you get excited.
Yeah, I was
too.
like, wow, that
Right?
looks really pretty. Yeah.
Because I was just in awe. I
was.
didn't even know what to look at first. I was like,
She was mesmerized, for
so
sure.
mesmerized.
Yes.
We got a ton of pictures.
We did.
And we got video, so we're going to totally post that for you guys to see.
Yeah.
Because I know there has to be a bunch of you out there that has never experienced Fremont Street either.
Yeah, maybe 4.
Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm a late bloomer. I don't know.
You know why I think that? Because we're so close to Las Vegas. There's people that live in the East Coast or, whatever, and they've never even been to Las Vegas.
I know.
Let alone
I
Fremont
have
Street.
friends that are local that have never been to Vegas. And then I
there
tell
you
them
go.
you and I are going, and they're like, "You're going again?" And I'm like,
That's-
I
I know people say that to me too.
My gold friend over
You're
here.
going again.
I know.
But it is such a fast jaunt
It
for
is.
us.
It's like an hour flight.
And if you don't gamble, you can really go. It's a cheap trip for us.
Yeah.
You know?
And well, especially because you get the rooms for almost
Well,
free.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, even before all of that, when I was, years ago when I was working, I would go to Vegas with girlfriends and stuff. And even then, we would do those Southwest vacations. And it still wasn't that bad.
Oh.
Because we would do like 3 nights at wherever we were staying. Mostly I would stay at back then it was the Monte Carlo. That was
Oh.
my favorite. And now it's the Park MGM.
Oh, right.
But we would stay there for 3 nights and our flight, and we would split it, and it would be about like $400 each.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. And I know things have gone up since then.
Right.
But I'm just saying, it's still a doable vacation for us because
Yeah.
we're so close.
Well, and two, like, we're 2 girls splitting everything.
Right.
Like, when me and Steve and Braden went 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
It was kind of expensive.
Oh, yeah,
Because we
that's
wanted
way
to stay at the
expensive.
Cosmo, and so that was like, I think $1,800 just for the hotel.
Just the hotel,
And then you
yeah.
got a meal.
That's right. You guys drove though, so
Yeah.
we shouldn't have the flight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We love road tripping it. And then just all the food, and there's 3 of us eating.
And then
And
3
then
of you eating.
The guys get hungry. Like
That's
her and I have
triple.
1 meal a day, and maybe a snack for
and
breakfast,
maybe an
or
M&M, yeah.
yeah, some sour candy for dinner.
Yeah, for dinner.
Yeah. But yeah, this place is crazy. So you look up and it's just this massive light show, and then every top of the hour they call it,
Yes.
they do another show, and so it'll be like a themed show. The one that we saw was Justin Bieber, wasn't it? It was like Justin Bieber songs.
It was all his songs, but it was 2 different
Light shows.
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
like him.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
just him.
It
Like there
his
was
mu-
an image
it was
of
different
him.
music.
Yeah, it was all Justin Bieber's music with like just this crazy psychedelic light show. It reminded me very much of like Area 15, which is also in Vegas.
See, and I've never been to that.
Oh my
so,
gosh! And
yeah.
if you guys have kids, you have to take them to Area 15. We took Braden there when we went a couple years ago, and it was so much fun. And just all the neons and the glow in the dark colors with the black lights, like
That's cool.
it kind of felt like some sort of like psychedelic experience, there. And you kind of feel like that even though you're outside,
Yeah.
on Fremont Street too, with all the neons. And there's just like all the businesses are all neons, and we got a bunch of pictures of that too. But anyhow, yeah. So we saw dancing gorillas. So what was cool
Yeah,
though?
I didn't know what was up with the dancing gorillas though, because there were like 4 of them. And,
Yeah.
I mean, spaced
So
out,
yeah,
right?
so
Spaced
what was
out.
interesting is there's a circle on the ground, and apparently you rent those circles if you're a performer, and you have to stay in that circle, and then people can walk by, where you're performing, and you have a bucket or whatever, and people put money in it. And so yeah, we were shocked. There was like 4 performing
circles
gorillas, that had a gorilla in them, and people are literally like going up there to put money in his tip jar,
And
then
he grabs
his big old arms, like it was crazy. It was massive, and then he'd like hug them, and they would like be screaming.
And they're huge.
Yeah,
So
massive.
it's like the person probably his head really came up to here of the gorilla.
Yeah,
right?
and like his arms probably only reached to like the elbow of the gorilla.
So
because it was kind of floppy.
Envelop the person.
And then people were getting pictures like that. It was crazy.
I was almost like, oh my God, that looks kind of scary.
Yeah, and there were showgirls, like not real showgirls, like girls dressed up.
I call them fake showgirls.
Yeah, they were fake showgirls. They were sweet, and they're out there dancing, and you could take your pictures with them. There was even Chippendales out there too, and you could get your picture taken with a Chippendale.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else?
There was stuff all over
there was
the
It
place.
was just, there was so much to take in. And then there's stages. There's literal band stages set up where people are performing, bands are performing, and they're so far apart, it doesn't matter.
You can't even hear.
You can't hear.
The other one.
The other band.
And then it's all connected though to the casinos. Because the last time I was there, I remember it was like you were outside and the casinos were outside and you would see everything out here. And then just above it was that huge dome that was like a half dome that you would see the light show on.
Right.
Where now, when you go into the Fremont Street, you feel enclosed.
Yeah, you don't even feel like you're in this, there's no sky.
Yeah.
I felt like we were kind of in a tube.
Yes,
almost.
I kind of felt the same way.
That was such a strange feeling to think like there's sky above the screen.
Right.
Because you don't feel like there's
and this way too.
anything else.
Between the buildings.
Yeah.
But it's so cool because all the the Nugget or the Four Queens, it's all lit up.
Yeah.
So it's so pretty. I was so amazed at how pretty it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
just visually amazing.
It really was.
Yeah, you could just be
I was impressed
mesmerized
too.
by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
poor Marilyn, I think she wanted to stand there and just keep, watch everything, and we had to come on, let's go.
I know, I didn't want to lose
I thought
him.
we were going to lose Darren.
Yeah, because we didn't want to lose Darren. He was kind of our bodyguard.
Yes.
And he said it wasn't even crowded because we were there on a
weekday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it was really crowded for a Tuesday to
Yes.
us.
On a
but
weekend,
then he said Friday and Saturday,
you can't
you
even
could
walk
barely.
hardly.
Yeah. So I definitely didn't want to lose sight of Darren, but I was just staring up at the sky and just staring at, it's just the neons. It's just I don't know, it's like light therapy almost.
You almost don't know where to look.
Yeah, because there's just so much going on. And then too, there's vendors up and down the streets that are selling
things
fun things and tchotchkes and things like that. So you could have a little souvenir. And then there's food vendors. There was just so much going on. And the street was very long. I thought it was going to be just a very small.
Like a block or something.
Yeah, like a block.
Yeah,
but it was
5
going
or 6 blocks, isn't it?
Going. Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But anyhow.
And again, the weather was so perfect.
It was.
So he said that sometimes if it's like a storm and it's raining and how the wind especially in Las Vegas, the wind is crazy there.
Yeah.
That wind blowing, it'll blow in.
Yeah.
So, we just got so lucky.
Yeah.
At the time we were there, just the weather was so perfect. And, so I'm so glad that she got to see Fremont Street.
Yes.
And, again, I was super impressed again because it had been so long and I think they had improved it so much.
Totally. Well, and that's great, too, that they keep doing that. They keep improving.
Yes,
because
they do.
Because people want to go back and feel like it's a new experience,
Well, and they have been for quite some time. They have been wanting to update the old Vegas. Because that's, if you have parents that are older or
grandparents,
or grandparents, they remember the old Vegas.
Yeah.
And even my in-laws, they went to their honeymoon was in Las Vegas. And they drove there. And so we're always intrigued by my husband always says, wow, I wonder what it looked like, when they were there and when they drove up to the strip, what it looked like. I'm so curious. And it was so funny because we had talked about this many times because my husband, I can't get him to go anywhere. He is more of a workhorse and, stays around town kind of guy.
Right.
And the only place I can get him to go to is Las Vegas. And he loves Las Vegas. He just thinks, but he does not like the old part. Because when we went there 20 so years ago, it was kind of a little dingy and a little more grimy.
I could see that.
Yeah. And I really do feel, Did you notice a different kind of class of people, though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a little difference.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we felt good going with a guy.
Yeah.
You know,
and we
not
were
just
also
going
there
by ourselves.
Yeah. And we were there at night, and so the strip is a little different at night too.
True.
You
Very
know?
true.
But I
Oh,
would
yeah.
say the crowd is a little more you know, a little, you want to be more careful. Yeah.
Exactly. You just want to cross body
Pickpocketers
your purse
or-
in front. And
Yeah,
that kind
yeah,
of
and
thing.
things like that.
Yeah.
So we were cautious.
Right.
And that's, I wanted to mention too, because you said John's mom and dad celebrated their honeymoon.
Honeymoon there. Yeah.
Yes, my mom and dad got married in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
At the New Frontier Hotel.
Oh.
And it's funny because before I had seen this one show on, I think it was like the Discovery Channel or something, but they literally showed the graveyard for all of the neons.
Yes, there's you can do a tour of that.
Oh, that would be so fun.
It's a tour.
And
literally,
are
of
they
the
lit
neon
up?
On I don't know.
'Cause that would be really cool
I
to see
think
that.
they are. No, I've seen that where that's like an activity. Your bus picks you up or whatever, and you go out.
Right.
It's called the Neon Sign Graveyard.
Oh, okay. So,
all right. Next time we'll do that.
Okay, because there's something else I wanted to mention too. But the cool thing is that when I watched the show on TV, they showed the New Frontier Hotel sign, which was like super cool to see the sign on the hotel of where your parents got married.
I bet. Now, did you know where the Frontier that has only in the last 10 years been blown up?
Oh, really?
I
No,
used
I have
to
no
s-
idea.
Okay, because
I never
used to
asked
see
you.
the Frontier Hotel all the time.
Really?
Because it's across the street. It was across the street from the Wynn.
Oh, serious? Oh my
So
gosh, that's
when,
crazy.
When we stayed at the Wynn, probably, I'm trying to think, 15 years ago, me and my husband.
Yeah.
I kept saying across the street was the Frontier Hotel, and they always had bingo on there. And I said, oh, I could go across the street and go play bingo.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that's where
I didn't realize it lasted that long.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, what was really funny was when my husband was talking about his parents and things and saying like, oh, wonder what it looked like and all this. And we kept forgetting, like you said, we got to ask them where they stayed, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We keep forgetting. And then we'd get there for an event or something, we'd totally forget. So it's been years that, finally I remembered. We got to ask them where they stayed. So, of course, we're thinking like, the Stardust.
Yeah,
or
MGM.
well, that wasn't there.
Oh,
No,
not even
we're-
back then?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, okay.
No.
I stayed there when I was like 7, so I
No.
figured it was...
Oh, gosh, no.
Oh, I gotcha.
We're talking in the 50s.
Okay.
So we're talking like Stardust, maybe Sahara. I mean, those are even newer. It's more of the Golden Nugget where
Right.
we were on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
That was like Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So we said, where did you stay? We finally remembered to ask you. And his dad just started chuckling and he goes, we stayed at the Travel Lodge. And John was so disappointed.
What? Oh, my gosh.
He wanted to hear like
Yes! One of the ritzy...
or one of the
Yes.
ones even in Old Town because
Yes, the
what did they
vintage.
see when they drove up and
Yes.
how was it and he's
Sophisticated.
he's intrigued by the mobsters and stuff from way back when too.
Yes.
So when they said the Travel Lodge, we just laughed.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like,
That's
dang.
funny. That's very sweet, though, because they were probably trying to save money, and they're
They
new,
were. They didn't have any
newly
money.
married. So, yeah. Oh, my gosh. It does make sense, but
I
that
know,
is
but-
hilarious.
oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
disappointing.
And disappointing.
Well, and speaking
Oh,
of mobsters, so when Darren was taking us back to the Cosmo Hotel when we were going to call it a night, there's a mob museum. And Cynthia and I are both totally fascinated by all that mob stuff, too. And so, anyways, I wanted to mention that to you guys. We didn't get to go this time, but we're going to plan to go next time. But
Yes.
if you guys go, you need to check it out because I'm super excited for us to
Yeah.
go next time.
Me and my husband went. Actually, we went out to when the Circa was first built.
Oh.
Because the Circa's been up maybe 2-3 years, I think.
Oh, that's
so
all?
it was pretty. It's new.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know. It has such a vintage name. I just kind of thought it was
No, it's
always
new.
been there.
No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that is, I think one of the. I don't know if it's the only hotel, but they do not allow children.
Oh.
So nobody
Wow.
under the age of 21 is allowed in that casino,
Wow.
restaurant, bar, period.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems valid. I mean,
yeah. So anyway, so we had been there, and then we did go over to the Mob Museum because you can just walk to it, from Circa. And it was just interesting. You have to be, I mean, it's just, like a museum where you're reading and you're looking at pictures.
Do you think it's changed much since you went?
Oh, gosh, no.
Like, I feel bad making you go.
Oh, I have, no, I would
You want to go again?
Because you know how you go somewhere and, heck, we could go to the Trove, which is the antique place here in town, and I could walk down one aisle down, half of it, which is like 4 aisles, and I could start over in the beginning, and I'm talking the same day, and walk down it and think, well, I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember seeing
That's
this.
true. Because there's so much to take in.
So much.
Yeah.
And I know that I could go there again and think like, oh, I don't even remember seeing this. Or I guess that is one thing about what's really nice about getting old and losing your memory.
Oh my God.
Because I could go somewhere and just be all excited and just see it all over again.
No. I don't want to say there's anything great about getting old. No.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not going to jump on that train. I hate forgetting things.
I know, so do I. Bugs the crap out of me, actually.
I know. She's like, I don't remember what I had for dinner.
Gosh, I know. I go, how am I supposed to remember what I read in the Mob Museum?
Right. We'll just have to go and experience it together.
I know, but it is cool because if you're interested in that kind of thing, because it does talk about the real mobsters. And what's crazy to me is that it wasn't that long ago.
I know. It feels like it could have been 200 years ago, but no, it wasn't.
I'm old. So to me, when I was born in my year, and then when I look at the years, I'm like, I wasn't that long ago, you know? It's like, wow. It's kind of like, with like New York and the little Italies and all that. It's like I'm interested in all that kind of stuff, how all the mobsters, were back in the day and how, and I think my husband never went to Las Vegas actually until he met me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because John loves it so much.
Yeah, but he even says that if you never took me to Las Vegas and kind of told me more about it, I don't think I might have ever gone.
Wow.
Because in his mind, it was more of this shady place.
Oh.
Place people only went to, gamble, which he doesn't do, right?
Right.
But I did tell it was like gamble and hard drinking and doing
showgirls
and showgirls and all that kind of stuff, right? And so that just didn't interest him.
Right.
But when he found out it was a food mecca.
Yes.
But that's only been in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Was all the chefs
and
started
John
coming
loves
into
food
town
and he loves trying new things.
Yeah. So going to Las Vegas and eating with John is completely different than me and Marilyn going. And I actually just told him last night, I said, you know what? I got to tell you, I loved it that me and Marilyn could not feel super hungry. We didn't need dinner. We'd had a big breakfast and brunch. And I go, it was so nice to be able to go over to the Venetian and have french fries and milkshakes for dinner.
Totally.
I go, you would have never done that.
He's like, John wouldn't have wanted to miss an opportunity to have like a 5-course meal.
He wants another meal.
And a nice glass of wine and finish it with some cognac or port.
And I could care less.
Right? And they have cigar bars there too. So John can smoke a cigar.
Yes.
Because they have all the cigar bars. I could totally see now what you're saying. Like, John's impression of Vegas before he actually went.
Yes. It's completely done. Now I can't, like, every time, there's like 3 or 4 months go by, he's like, you want to go to Vegas?
Right. As long as you're still getting the free rooms, I would be doing the same thing if I was married to you. But I'm going to throw it out there anytime you want to go. You just let me know.
Okay. She's already going again, though, with another friend.
Yes, I am.
So, yeah.
This is just totally a fluke.
She is totally going to be there again.
In May.
So, yeah, we'll get to hear about that, too.
Yeah, I'll throw you guys some tidbits. It's a different experience with whoever you go.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I go with John, I do so many different things than I
around
do
meals,
with,
food. And then you and I are
like, go to the mall and go shopping.
And shows. We like to go to a lot of shows.
Yeah, I will say he does like shows, and he did like the Mob Museum. So
good.
That is is one thing. But anyway, it is a different trip when you go with different people.
Yeah,
you tend to morph into what because you have to give and take a little bit when you're traveling with people, and So it is always.
I'll totally have it. We're gonna try to do a pool party, and she doesn't gamble, but she does drink. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, she'll have a blast.
I will. It's Vegas, baby.
She has a blast wherever she goes.
I know. It is fun. We always have fun.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
okay. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap this episode up.
Yep.
And we're gonna definitely have to have a part 4.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
We do.
And we hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah. So bye.
Bye.